Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome to what is possibly my favorite series on the channel. It is the Ultimate Challenge. And that challenge is to take a team, not only from the 10th division in England, way down at the base of the pyramid, and bring them up. But more than just that, it is taking a team even significantly worse. A team with players with literally no quality. A team of players with no reputation. A team with no history. What they have going for them? An 80-year transfer ban. That's right. We will never buy a player on this team. It is all going to happen with our own personal youth factory. We are going to develop in-house. It's not all bad, though. I do begin with an advantage that most others don't have, and that is perfect facilities. Training, 20 of 20. Corporate, youth, recruitment, all of it, 20 of a possible 20. So while we are horrendous, and I as a coach stepping in with horrendous levels as well and no reputation, we are going to absolutely get hammered early on. Youth recruitment becomes everything in this series as we then try to recruit the best players we can get our hands on. There's others with level 20 youth recruitment. Because we're down in the 10th tier and we have a reputation of 1 out of 1,000, we will be the last team with 20 on recruitment to get that random draw pick of the litter when it comes to the generated players. But what we do have is we have the advantage over everybody with a 19 and below. So we will get good youth players coming in, high potential, but can they play? Can they contribute early on? That is a big if. I can tell you they'll develop. We're going to crush these leagues eventually, these lower leagues. What's going to happen when we get to the higher leagues? Can your own youth recruitment alone and training alone lift us up high enough? So it's going to be a long journey, but there's going to be a lot of quickly simmed seasons. We will get at least a couple games per season in, but most of it's going to be fast moving because it's going to take us a whole lot of years to go from the very bottom to the very top. And with that, let's get started with Youth Factory FC. Our first meeting with the president sets the two main parts about the club culture: develop players using the club's youth system, of course, surrounding that 80-year transfer ban, and then play high-tempo pressing soccer. The permanent transfer ban upon the team placed on us, global transfer ban until July 1st, 2100. We're in the birthplace of the sport with the founding of a new club, and therefore we pick just 11 players who are essentially in their own infancy. The 11 players we have, every last one of them is ones across the board, the minimum attribute that they could potentially have. They are truly zeros. They have no value. They have no discernible attributes in any way, shape, or form. They have height. They have weight. They do have some potential, and some of them may develop. Some of them may not. They might be so far off that they'll actually completely fail to develop. It's July 27th, so we've only got a very short period of time before we actually begin the season. And let's just go ahead and kind of push forward straight into that. Let's see how this ragtag group of 11 players who are completely incompetent, what they can do out on a pitch. So we start with a tiny little stadium, very little capacity. I do have a single assistant coach. It's one of the players. And then myself, not looking so good either. I had to literally my very first press conference, and a single reporter has shown up. So, hey, at least we get to talk to somebody. What does it feel like to be the new head coach? Here's all the new gestures that we have. Smile warmly and say... And by the way, we start the game just 4 days ahead of our first league match of the season. And we're going to get straight into that. They've recognized our talent. And with 25-1 odds, we're supposed to get absolutely hammered. The quality of our players is going to make it really tough for them to get decent at training. They are so bad that they don't know how to train even. And so we're going to see a lot of low ratings this season at least. Also, their familiarity with the gegenpress, not too bad for 4 days. And it's a semi-pro team, so they practice 3 days a week. I think they've practiced twice. First, look at the new pregame setup, and it opens with a tactical meeting in which the other coaches offer advice, look to set us up. There are changes you can make for all matches or just specifically for the next match. We're straight ones across the board. There's nothing that I can do that is going to help us out. Literally nothing. Let's just see how bad this team is on the pitch. See, our analysis is all reds. We have no area of strength. There's a slightly less issue right down the middle, as we've got it stacked with 2 center mids, a defensive mid, and 2 center backs. We are just ever so slightly safe in that position. No, we're not. We have issues everywhere, and we're going to have issues everywhere for a while. We're only 4 days in, so I wouldn't expect any of the players to have done any development thus far. All right, here we go, and the season kicks off. All right, so we are in the purple and black, and we immediately give up a goal right inside the very first minute. From the center back, we get a long ball over the top. And they have such a speed advantage that our guys get about 2 steps, and he's already got the ball on the back of the net from the time that the center back played the long ball. But we did get an interception there, and that's already a big start. Can we make a stop? No, we cannot. And actually, he kicks it forgivingly straight to the keeper, helping us out significantly. 3 minutes. And we get a clearance there. Even at ones, we can play just a little bit. Bad turnover there. Poor keeping, really bad position, and it's 2-0 in the 4th minute. We're going to have to speed this one along, otherwise there's going to be a lot of goal highlights. Just forcing them backwards is big for us. I mean, the gegenpress should help slow them down. Nice play. That was a nice sliding tackle there to knock that ball away. They've got it on the edge. Austin clears it out. I'm impressed with how less than awful we are. We're still awful. No, we're still awful. Never mind. We're really bad, but we've made it 10 minutes. It helps that they're not necessarily good. They can't take advantage of us. So by the way, we've taken up shop in Blackpool, so we are on the northwestern coast of England for this team. Of course, there's a major team in Blackpool FC housed there, but they're all the way down in like League One these days. I think there's even another team from the area down in the same league as them currently. But otherwise, there's no big players to contend with locally in the area. And as it's a Northwest Coast thing, I'm from the Northwest Coast of the United States, so I figured, why not? All right, so it's 3-0. That was a nice goal. So little we can do, especially with speeds, agilities, everything at one. We've committed 6 fouls, so at least we're doing that well. We intercepted that ball. Look at that. We just strung together a few passes. Leach kicked it away. Oh, what a shot. Ivkovic. That was an incredible goal. I mean, we actually played this relatively well. Thomas could have had a shot, but Leach makes a great play. And then Ivkovic, near the edge of the box, tight angle, up in the corner for our level. That was pretty good. Pretty impressive. 4-0, approaching halftime, 5-0 now. I'd love to get to halftime at 5-0 because then there's hope that we could keep it within double digits. And that makes it 6. I thought maybe he was offside there. Oh no, not even close. It's just a long ball. And our no speed to their plenty of speed got the better of us. Oh my goodness. We had a chance. We had a chance. We got a shot, folks. We've had a corner. Our XG is a 0.13. Yeah. That's right. We've completed 65% of our passes. As terrible as we are, we have done a little something. I'm really proud. I'm really proud. I'd like to see us try to keep it to under 10. I don't think that's going to happen in the second half, though. Good luck. Let's go ahead and speed up to the end of the game, though, as you've seen. You've seen enough. This is what it's going to be for a while. It's going to be some really, really bad results. We need to bring in some youth players. Our youth recruitment is still months away. So this team's going to have to hold them off for a little while. I can't believe it. We've done it. I was trying to get all the way to the end of this game here. But before we've reached the end, David Timms has scored. We scored a goal. And not only that, but we went from 1 shot in the first half to 7 now. And this was the second time we put the ball in the back of the net. We put the ball in the back of the net earlier. Oh. Man, that was close. We put the ball in the back of the net earlier, but it was offside. And correctly called offside. But, wow. This team is phenomenal. No, but still, what a performance. I'm actually really impressed how we've done here in the closing seconds. I mean, look at that. Osman all over it. That was beautiful. I mean, look where we were, and we played our way into the game. Now, is that anything to do with the fact that they were so far ahead that they took their foot off the gas? Yeah, probably. Probably. After getting through that first game and that awful performance that actually was pretty dang good considering just how bad they are. Again, current ability is 1s across the board for our players. These are not players that are a part of the team. They are filler players who I am avoiding. So there are bids in. I've got a lot of non-contract guys here. I'm wondering if I should lock them down onto contracts just to have that part dealt with so that they don't go away, and I have to then go in and replace them with another filler player. For my custom view, I have current ability, I have potential ability, and then their training performance, at least for now, for this first season. That makes a lot of sense on what to do. 6.4 ratings for a couple guys is pretty dang good, all things considered. And let's go ahead and speed this up for a little bit. We're going to go forward 1 month and see if there's any development in these players. We've got quite some time before we're going to get our first influx of players. So let's see what happens. A month into the season, the league's broken down like this. We are dead last, as expected. We're not the only team that is winless thus far. We're one of just a few teams that have only played 3 games so far. We have an uneven number of teams in the league with 17. So with that, there's going to be bye weeks. Our preseason is now done. We are officially into regular season plus those 3 matches that we've already played. So we don't have friendlies otherwise anymore. We've definitely been better in the other 2 games. They've been a little closer, but the main reason for that is, in a way, we're not as bad as we were. If you look here, we now have just 8 players. 3 of our players have been poached away from us already. And with 8 players, that means we have 3 fillers. The fillers aren't good, but they're better than the players that have been poached away. Many of them. And you can see current ability starting to increase for a couple of these guys. So there are positive signs in what's going on, both good and bad. We lost players. I'm not worried about this current crop, right? This team is not going anywhere. They're not going to win anything. The filler players, they're not going to win anything either. If they do steal a victory or 2 or a few points on the season, so be it. We are focused on the youth that are going to replace these players as we go forward. And I care more about the first youth intake, so much so that we're going to push forward all the way to December for our next quick check-in. Into early December, and I still have 8 players. And the current abilities are right about what they were when we last saw, meaning players aren't progressing, or at least not in the short term. As for how they're doing, well, we're still last. But somehow, the team has managed to escape 1 game with victory and have 3 points. So in that 1 game, they won on the road at Daisy Hill 1-0, claiming they're only 3 points of the season. Minus 43 on the goal differential is pretty ugly. It is Daisy Hill, who is just above us in the standings. Only 2 wins, 2 draws themselves. And even they are relatively awful at a minus 21. That win was the first day after we progressed. This time around, just after we started, and we were coming out of our 2 friendlies in the preseason. So apparently there was a bit of a morale boost in having a 3-1 victory and a 1-1 friendly draw that then carried over into our only victory. But we've managed to score some goals. We even got 2 in that last game, losing just 4-2. We lost 2-1 against Bury. Bury's, I think, at the top of the standings. Of course, we are playing with a few filler players. I've run this experiment once before, and it did come out in almost the same way. A lot of players quickly pick up a few points and then just stall. You can see our goalkeeper here has 6s almost across the board outside of a few areas that haven't developed in the same way. And then that's it. And he's been at the same level since. Ross Austin, who is apparently the most developed player, you can see outside of 2 7s, everything else is exactly the same. It's those 6s across the board. So that's about where the team is 6s and 7s. In the first week of January, we still sit at just 1 victory, a minus 54 now. We've definitely lost ground on everybody else. Good news is there is no relegation out of the 10th tier, so we will be staying put for next season. And we're just about maybe a week away now. I don't know what the exact date is going to be for youth intake, but we're roughly 1 to 2 weeks from that happening. That's what we've been waiting for. Let's see what that first batch of players is going to look like. Guaranteed, every last one of them is going to go straight into the side. It's the day I didn't know we've been waiting for, as Zach Conley grabs a hat trick, which was enough to win 3-2. Second win of the season, breaking the long losing streak. Penalties may have been involved, but I'll take it. I'll take a win any way I can get it. Still bottom of the table. Still 2 wins behind Daisy Hill. And we just played Daisy Hill and lost to Daisy Hill in the previous game. So as close as we are to them, we're still not close enough to that bottom team. So don't expect to climb off the bottom. But hey, 2 wins this season is pretty dang good. It's the middle of March. There's only 7 matches remaining in the season, meaning there's no hope for this season. It's all coming down to the intake, but the youth intake still hasn't happened by the middle of March. So I don't know if they have truly, because last year they said they randomized it. It was on the same date every season. So maybe they have finally randomized when youth intake happens. Currently, nothing. So I've got to kind of twiddle my thumbs for a little bit longer, hang in there, and see average ratings for the players. Really the only stat that matters. 6.53 for Osmond, 6.58 for Austin, 6.3s for Wilson and Indriana, but pretty bad overall. I mean, 6.02 for Adam Sumner. He's struggling out there, and sadly, he's got by far the most appearances. And oddly, there's actually a lot of vacancies on that, considering that the lineup is supposed to be taken from my assigned players whenever possible. But okay. Apparently we've been borrowing some other players. Whatever the case may be, we're still sucking at the bottom of the league. And with only 7 matches to play, that's not changing. We're 10 points back. We're not picking up 3 wins just to get within 1 point in 7 matches. And we're certainly not picking up more than that to potentially go ahead of Daisy Hill and get off the bottom of the table. So, bottom of the table, all but secure. Minus 68, 7 matches to play. That's going to be a good bit of goals added. But we should still be less than a minus 100 by the end of the season. So, I'll take that. I guess it's something. But the long-awaited youth intake will have to wait a little bit longer because I'm out of time for this one. That's going to do it for this first episode. This is going to be a long-running series. We are going to make our way quickly through a lot of seasons. Most seasons, not quite as fast as this one, as there will be a little bit more to pay attention to once we actually start bringing in our youth players to build this squad up. But they're still going to go pretty fast, so a pretty fast and furious many seasons to come as this team grows, changes, and hopefully climbs the ladder. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you saw here, be sure to hit that like button and click subscribe for more. And look out for episode number 2 coming tomorrow. See you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. And bye for now.